Hello. Can everybody hear me? Hello. 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 Alright, it seems like it's working. Welcome to the first challenger match of the final refrain. Today we have two players. I am familiar with both of them. I've played against both of them and kind of want them both to win, but I'm really curious to see who comes out on top here. So we have Panic and we have Bear Bear. Panic, of course, being a player in the final refrain, while who lost Aviator in the first round, I believe, while Bear Bear is a challenger. I'm going to go ahead and share their decks. Okay. Uh, this should be visible now. Yes, I see it. Okay. So you can now see. So you can see their. You can see the matchup here. On the left, we have Panic's deck. It is a very nasty build. I've watched him draw his whole deck uh, and cycle the waste knots using mostly either the ghost tree or thing from the deep. And he can actually play Thing from the Deep and Untamed thanks to Came Back Wrong. Oh, let me go ahead and switch this over. Yes, there we go. He also has a lot of Geistweight efficiency with the double junk restorations, double in here somewhere, BR Geist, double Echo Fly, Curse Tomb, and Winds of Death. And the Cursed Tomb is going to be interesting because I also co-cast with Orion another matchup similar to this, where we'll get to the opponent's deck in a second. However, the other thing to note about this deck is the Unfathomable pod, which includes not only Thing from the Deep, but also Dark Discovery. So he's got a key cheat in there. But moving on to the opponent. So the opponent is playing Thralls, and as I previously co-commentated with Orion, there was also a Thrall deck played by Sith, in the final refrain, and that also went up against a Winds of Death Cursed Tomb build, or not really a build, deck. And in every game there, Cursed Tomb came out along with Winds of Death and purged a bunch of creatures. So I'm really curious to see if we see that happen again here. I will. So Bear's Thrall deck, I've also played against many times. I know he recently upgraded the Dispod, which looks very strong to me. He's got Gateway to Dis and Dance of Doom, along with the Beyond All Darkness to simply just destroy a bunch of creatures, build up a bunch of tokens, and then with the Forge and the Double Forsaken, he's threatening a lockout. And if that weren't enough, he's also got him to Duma to simply allow the Thralls to sacrifice themselves. Not to mention Martyr's End. Now, I'm immediately drawn to that first or last as well. I'm wondering if it'll be useful in this matchup for to purge Thing from the Deep using that. Now, playing it could also be disadvantageous because of the Mimicry and Panic's deck. So that could also be another way, besides Cursed Tomb, to simply purge a ton of Bear's creatures. I am very curious to see how this goes, and it looks like both players are ready, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead, pull that up. Oh, doesn't seem to be. Let me take out the background there. There we go. Just reminding them to wait before they start a rematch. And it looks like Panic is the first player. And he starts out with the Haunting Witch. Not gonna get much amber, but I guess he did mulligan. Both players mulliganed, so neither of them got what they were looking for in their starting hands. Ooh, Mark of Dis into Haunting Witch. The fact that Panic waited to play that makes me think he probably doesn't have much Untamed, but also played down a Forsaken, Stampede, and then pass turn. Okay. Going into turn 2 for Bear. Plays Redemption. Or chooses Redemption. Brings out the Redeemer. I did not mention that, but in all the times I played against Bear, the Redeemer has really put in some work. So if I were Panic, I would be trying to get rid of that Redeemer as fast as possible. And it already created a token thanks to a damage pip on the Exemplar. Okay, Panic is going in playing Junk Restoration with Geistoid. Hit a Regrowth, a Waste Not, and a Tangy. Plays another Junk Restoration, discards Halloween Eve Festival, drawn down, and Beam of Forgetting. Brings back Halloween Eve Festival. Imagine he's going to want to make himself haunted to bring back Haunting Witch or something else. Oh, and he brings out Mimicry. Or no, Winds of Death. Archiving a bunch of creatures. He discarded Mimicry. That's what happened. That was what the Mimicry was. However, it did create 2 more tokens. Okay, Bear seems to be thinking here. That was a good time to have the board wipe before the Thralls got 2 out of hand there. Whimsical Conjurer, possibly making more tokens. Key Frog. Don't imagine he's going to be key cheating with the Key Frog. We've got Fire Grubbling. Ooh, Unnatural Selection. Destroy some Thralls. Discard some of Panic's cards. He discards Infiltrator, Forgotten Guardian, and Beam of Forgetting. Now, Panic does have some creatures in the archives here. So losing half his hand may not hit quite as hard as it should have. Let's see, what's in his discard? Both Junk Restorations. Oh, played Unfathomable. Brought out Thing from the Deep. Discarding Echo Fly. Archiving Beam of Forgetting. Then playing Tangy. Is Dark Discovery in... Dark Discovery is not in his discard. So I imagine he's trying to set up a... key cheat. Okay, Bear goes Dis. Mark of Dis. Makes a token using the Whimsical Conjurer. goes Gateway to Dis. Ooh, he discarded the Cursed Tomb. Plays Beam of Forgetting, taking Snarette, putting it on the bottom of Bear Bear's deck, and then passes turn. Now, what is in Bear Bear's discard? Ooh, brought out the Forgotten Guardian. Imagine he's going to purge something. Obsidian Forge is not something you want to see in your discard. Usually with the Thrall deck, you want that out as fast as you can. Purges Forgotten Guardian. Okay, probably going to do some bursting with Untamed and Haunting Witch here. Oh, and there may be some Waste Knots. Were the Waste Knots in the discard? Yes, both Waste Knots were in the discard, so no drawing with that Ghost Tree. Brings Echo Fly back. Came back wrong. Brings out Thing from the Deep. Nebseed, and passes turn. So next turn, if Bear Bear doesn't have a way of dealing with that Nebseed, I imagine Waste Knot's going to be coming out. And drawing 14 cards with Thing from the Deep. Martyr's End. Discarding Circle of Life. That's going to stop some of the burst coming next turn. But if Waste Knot hits that Thing from the Deep, Panic may just be able to... Oh, nope, going Geistoid instead. I guess setting up an even bigger Untamed turn next turn. Or Unfathomable. Really trying to set up that Dark Discovery. So definitely not bringing Waste Knot back. He just played 2 In Here Somewheres, archiving Beam of Forgetting and Beam of Forgetting, then used Nepseed to bring back In Here Somewhere to play it the second time, archiving Waste Knot and In Here Somewhere, and then BR Geist, so he did bring back Waste Knot. Oh, and he got the Forgotten Guardian anyways with BR Geist. Just stole Bear Bear's after Bear Bear went to the trouble of purging it. Purging the Forsaken. Now, fortunately, Bear Bear has 2 of those. And I imagine he's going to reap with that Grim Reaper and get rid of the Forgotten Guardian. Had to get rid of that. So Bear Bear goes Untamed, plays Unnatural Selection to get rid of the Thing from the Deep. I'll prevent Panic from drawing 14 cards next turn. But I'm guessing, actually it's almost certain, that Panic is holding on to Dark Discovery, considering that it's not in his discard and he has nothing in his draw pile. And he has 2 Beams of Forgettings in Archive. So he's definitely getting a free key next turn. And if Bear can't take him off check, then it's probably Panic's game. Okay, shuffles the top 5 cards of his own deck, but that's... I think Panic's got this. Because he has 2 Beams of Forgetting. Just gonna set up Dark Discovery for the key cheat. Reveals first or last with the first Beam of Forgetting. With the second, revealing Gate Warden, and then Dark Discovery. Yep, there we go. Okay. So Bear chooses to go second. Panic starts out playing Geistoid and goes Junk Restoration, discarding Dark Discovery, Beam of Forgetting, and Echo Fly. Brings Dark Discovery to hand. Bear goes Redemption, plays Snarette, Hymn to Duma. That's a good thing to get out. I don't believe that Panic's deck has any R, so that Hymn to Duma is going to be probably staying. Panic plays Untamed, goes Circle of Life, Ghost Tree, wastes not the Ghost Tree to draw 5 cards. Does not do anything and passes turn to Panic, or passes turn to Bear. Bear chooses Dis, plays Cinder and the Forsaken, brings out Gate Warden, creating a Thrall. Cannot sacrifice any Thralls this turn, so Panic plays in here somewhere, discards top 5 cards of his deck, plays Cursed Tomb. Is the Winds of Death coming? Plays Infiltrator. discards Echo Fly archive in here somewhere. Plays BR Geist, discarding Addlefish, making a token creature thanks to the discard pips. So actually made two. Bear made 2 tokens. Brings out Ghost Tree. So Bear's got a pretty healthy lineup of tokens at this point, but Cursed Tomb is out. So I imagine he's gonna want to get that Mollymawk out as fast as possible to take care of that Cursed Tomb. Unless he doesn't mind purging some of his creatures, just filtering down his deck. Bear seems to be taking some time to think here. Mark of Dis into Ghost Tree. Plays Strake A. So that Gate Warden is almost certainly getting purged. Reaping Withdrawal and the Forsaken. Plays another Forsaken. Reaps with Cinder. Is probably going to destroy one of his thralls. See what gets purged. Panic discards Beam of Forgetting. And the Exemplar got purged. So, if it ends the turn, and Panic is gonna have to go Untamed here. I'm not sure he has much creature control in Untamed, but he does have... Oh, he's Haunted, so Ghost Tree can't fight, really. He does have Mimicry, though, so he could Mimicry the Mark of Dis. Nope, purged it with Forgotten Guardian and ended turn. Curious why he didn't Reap with the Ghost Tree. Plays Havoc. So, okay, so it uses the action ability on him to Duma to destroy the Infiltrator, purging it, putting some Amber onto a Thrall. Ooh, discarding the Nep Seed. He destroys one of the Thralls with the action as well, which discards the Nep Seed, and then makes 2 more token creatures. Now, that Cursed Tomb... Oh, so he can get around Cursed Tomb with him to Duma. So he can use the action ability on the Thrall with Amber on it to put Amber on another Thrall, and then use that action ability and string that along. That's cool. And it looks like the previous Thrall was a Martyr's End. He purges the Forgotten Guardian. Uses the action ability to discard a Grim Reaper from Panic's hand, and then uses another action ability to discard Dark Discovery. Uses it again to discard Think from the Deep. Leaving Panic with one card in hand, and I don't know that he has any more thralls to use. Oh, that is a big battle line there. That's what you want to see as a thrall player. Now, here's the issue I've had with thralls, is that at some point, I suppose Bear has enough here that he'll be able to work around it, but at some point you're going to run out of cards to tokenize, and then you lose the lockout. Now, perhaps he can get far enough ahead before that becomes a problem. Oh, and Panic's using the In Here Somewhere to archive some cards. I don't believe that Bear has any way to deal with the archives. So that is not quite a lockout for Bear. He's probably going to want to just rebout as fast as he can, get as far ahead, and hope that Panic can't outrace him. Now, the nice thing here is that he has him to Duma, so he can continue to use thralls even regardless of what house he has, or what house he's playing. But I think I forgot to mention, Panic did archive 2 junk restorations with In Here Somewhere. So I suppose he's fishing for that Winds of Death. Which means that Bear's going to want to make sure that he discards. Going to want to hope that he has that Panic has that in hand, so that he can discard it and not in his deck. So that, because if it's in his deck, he'll be able to get it with the junk restorations. Discarding a Waste Not with the Thrall. He did purge. The first Thrall he destroyed did not have Amber on it, so he purged an Umless. And it looks like he's just going to pass that 2 Amber along. Let's see what got discarded. It looks like Winds of Death was not in there, which means Winds of Death is almost certainly coming next turn. Unless it's on the bottom 2 cards of Panic's deck. Don't believe it's in the discard. Nope. amber on the snarette at this point, so brings open the seal to hand. So first junk restoration, discards open the seal, Warfaline, Gatewatcher, brings open the seal to hand, plays the other one, discards regrowth, drawn down Hallowed Festival. Did not hit the Winds of Death. That probably hurt for Panic. And from here, it looks like Bear Bear's got it. Yeah, he's got the lock. Doesn't even need the lock, and just Obsidian Forge for the win. I guess just gotta reap out just to be safe. Just gonna destroy everything. Oh, nope, just destroyed a few. And we're going to a game 3. Bear taking a moment. That it is always exciting for me to see the Thrall lockout go off, because there's, especially in this case, watching the hymn do its job, and protecting all the thralls from Cursed Tomb. That was an interesting interaction I never really considered, and now I think it could have gone very differently if Winds of Death had been archived or if it had been drawn by those junk restorations earlier. However, I was just so amazed by this match. As I said, there's always going to be a place in my heart for watching the Thralls do their magic. So Panic chooses to go second. Apologies. So Bear goes first, plays Massing at Midnight to make 3 tokens. Panic goes in Unfathomable, plays Open the Seal and Drawn Down. Let's see what gets discarded. We got Bear lost the Forgotten Guardian, and Thing from the Deep came out, discarding Echo Fly and archiving drawn down, setting up for that Dark Discovery. Okay, Reaps with Thralls, plays a Gate Warden. Dance of Doom, probably going to destroy those Thralls and start trying to get that lockout. Let's see what was discarded. We lost a Forgotten Guardian, Circle of Life, Infiltrator, and Ghost Tree. Not quite what I would have wanted to hit. Oh, and Wastes Not the Thing from the Deep to draw 15 cards. That is always scary. Now, I don't think he can pull off the full loop at this point, considering that I think he only had one Ghost Tree. Well, no, he could, if he has the other Waste Not, he could Came Back Wrong to bring back the Thing from the Deep and Waste Not it again. But that wouldn't quite... Nope. Wouldn't quite draw enough to start the loop. Mollymocks the Nepseed. Plays Bear plays Umwus, creating another token. Plays Unnatural Selection, probably going to destroy the Thrall with the Unnatural Selection. Discarding Addlefish. Let's see what was on... So we lost an Unnatural Selection, both Unnatural Selections actually, and the first or last. Oh, and I guess I forgot to mention in the last turn that Panic played Mimicry to copy the first or last, which is how Gate Warden got purged. So Panic goes into Geistoid, plays Junk Restoration, discarding Tangy in here somewhere and Regrowth. Brings in here somewhere back. Plays Junk Restoration to discard Warfaline, Dive Deep, and Beam of Forgetting. Brings back Beam of Forgetting. Plays in here somewhere to archive 2 cards. Does Waste Not and Mimicry. Interesting. Probably eyeing that first or last again. And if he has the either Regrowth or Came Back Wrong, then he can bring back either the Ghost Tree or the... he plays a Cursed Tomb. He can bring back either the Ghost Tree or the Thing from the Deep to draw a bunch more cards. Plays another in here somewhere. So it really seems like Panic is setting up 2 different game plans here. One is card draw with Untamed. The other is the Dark Discovery. Archives Nepseed and Ghost Tree. And then plays in here somewhere. Or archives the in here somewhere with Echo Fly. And then plays Winds of Death to archive a bunch of creatures. Mollymock, Umwus, and Cinder all got purged. Plays BR Geist to bring out Haunting Witch. Gaining an Amber, taking him up to 11 Amber. With that many cards in archives, I would imagine Panic is not panicking right now. Bear taking a moment to... Okay, goes untamed. Plays Signal Fairy, making a token creature. Plays Briar Gubbling. Plays Whimsical Conjurer. Plays Forgotten Guardian. What is he gonna aim for? A lot of good targets here. Goes for BR Geist. Okay, Panic forges a key. Now, having archived the thing from the deep, I don't know that he can bring it back with came back wrong anymore, unless there's a discard pip somewhere. Got a hand size of 20. That's going to be hard to get the Thrall lock out against that. Immediately reaps with Haunting Witch. Copies First or Last with Mimicry. Purging Thrall, Signal Fairy, and Briar Gubbling. That Thrall was a Citizen Tricks. Plays Forgotten Guardian. And is making a ton of amber with each creature he plays since he's haunted. Purging Dance of Doom. Waste not the Ghost Tree to draw 5 cards. I imagine he's going to bring back the Ghost Tree and waste not it again. Unless Regrowth and came back wrong or not in his draw pile. Oh, possible. Oh, you can discard. There's a discard pip on the Warferline, so he could discard the thing from the deep and then draw 14 cards with the other Waste Not. Shuffles. So he shuffles Bear's deck, and then he plays Waste Not on the Forgotten Guardian to draw 3 cards. Plays Circle of Life, gaining 3 amber. Plays Stampede, gains an amber. Plays Regrowth. Turns Forgotten Guardian to their hand, plays it, and purges Stampede. So Panic is sitting tight at 13 amber in hand right now. And I imagine with all those cards in hand, he probably can set up Dark Discovery next turn, so... Oh, he discards the Dark Discovery, except there's a Nep Seed, so he can bring it back. Okay, does Drawn Down. Panic plays Drawn Down. Adds a card to their hand and to the bottom of the deck. What was that? Of your opponent's... So plays Open the Seal, plays Beam of Forgetting, reveals Keyfrog to put it at the bottom of the deck, plays Beam of Forgetting to reveal First or Last, turns Dark Discovery to hand and plays Dark Discovery. And then uses Dark Discovery to discard Keyfrog and First or Last. Game 3 goes to Panic. Once again, closing it with a Dark Discovery. Three intense games. Both decks are very frightening to play against. A little disappointed I did not get to see Panic's deck loop the Waste Knots and just generate 500 Amber. But seeing that Dark Discovery go off twice, always a treat. And for me, especially a treat, is the Thrall Lockout. So I had a lot of fun watching this. And I hope you all did as well. Okay. I am going to end the stream now.